Hey, Dushny here. I've recently played a bit of Persona 5X on stream, and let me tell you, my disappointment was immeasurable. So much so that I decided to vent my frustration and make this video. Now, I am prepared to have my ass blown open by the fans of the game, but I don't think there are that many of them. At least outside of Japan and other Asian countries who are being treated to a better game. More on this later. But even with that, I feel like it's a mediocre gacha game and a poor recreation of a Persona game, and how those gameplay styles don't really mix together well, which is going to be my thesis for today's video. So let's begin ripping into this. And before I begin, I just want to say that if you enjoy my videos, please show the engagement to YouTube. Leave a like or a comment, it helps a lot. And if you're so inclined, subscribe or and check the links in the description for more ways to support me as well. I really need the money. Anyway, let's begin. Now, I'm not going to bother you with a ChatGPT summary. We all know that Atlus shipped this franchise to a Chinese developer, so let's skip all that and jump straight into the critique. Now, Persona games are universally praised for their stories, some parts more than others, but even if the story is a bit generic, it is held up by an amazing direction, strong theming, and surprisingly great characters that keep their relevance to this day, none of which can be found here. The story is rushed, directionless, and lacks any depth. Now, I'll say it right now, I didn't even finish the first Palace, so I'll be mostly discussing the first part, but that's what most international players got anyway. We begin with our protagonist waking up from a horrible dream of him being a badass fighting with Joker, showing that our guy is on the same level as Joker, which is laughable, and a poor attempt to make this guy likable. Actually, let's go on a little bit of a tangent here, but it is related to the story. The protagonist here is shit. He doesn't have any unique characteristics to him, he is way too generic and there is no depth to him. Now, you may say, yeah, but aren't all protagonists from Persona like that? No. I can name a few unique character traits for each protagonist. Persona 3 MC is calm and reserved, rarely showing any emotion. Other characters comment on him that he is quiet and stoic, with a mature look in his eyes. But that comes with a downside. Do you know which is the most common response he can give in Persona 3? I don't care. You can even say that to your friends, and this choice constantly pops up in conversations. We don't have to say it, but these are more like thoughts of the main character, which also characterizes him. Persona 4, which is my favorite protagonist out of the bunch, is much more lively and involved than the third one, and while he appears calm outside, he can be a bit wacky, indicating a good sense of humor. He is also more openly flirtatious with the girls and way more confident. Due to that, he can be very blunt, and sometimes things he can say to his friends are quite mean. Persona 5 protagonist is way more snarky than the other two, and he has a lot of responses that tease his friends or even taunt his opponents, which is new. He is very confident, even has an artistic desire to show off, which is communicated a lot in his animations and decisions. Like the other two on the outside, he appears to be quiet, but that's hiding a rebellious spirit. Now that we tickled our nostalgia, let's look at this guy, the new guy. Now, can you tell me one fucking thing about him? No? You know why? Because he doesn't have any unique responses or personality traits. All his responses, and I mean all of them, are just repeating the last few words with a question mark. He doesn't get unique reactions or interesting animations, he's just generically kind. Like any other fucking manga and anime protagonist from Japan. Have you noticed it, by the way? When the girls need to say something what they like about the main character, they always say, he's kind. What about other traits? Is he funny, confident, loyal? Maybe he's a natural leader, charismatic, anything. Fuck, why am I talking about manga now? God, I need to calm down. It's like a tangent within a tangent. I apologize. Anyway, this MC sucks, and I realize they probably made it this way so they can appease to a larger selection of players, but you know what they say, it's better to suck 2 cocks and satisfy both of them than try sucking 50 and leave with a dislocated jaw. Wait, they don't really say that, don't they? Anyway, back to the story. We wake up from a dream, go to school, and then we start getting pinballed around all the necessary Persona stuff. We visit the Velvet Room right away, we meet our dollar store Chie right away, and we get our first conflict right away. So what is it? Corrupt official getting his way without punishment like in Persona 5? Teacher with too much power harassing students like in Persona 4? No, the dude is unable to go down the stairs because there are some girls in the way, and yeah, he can't do it. Even though, look how much room! I could feed a fucking rhinoceros through these bitches! What is this guy talking about? Just go down the stairs, asshole! Actually, that's because of the draining wheel and negativity of the metaverse. Yeah, I know. But my point is, this makes no sense anyway, and the stakes are so low. Just You can go between them. You don't need to ask them to move. Just go between them and go down the fucking stairs, dude. What are you talking about here? But don't worry, the stakes are gonna get way, way, way lower. What's next? Next, we finally get into the metaverse and meet Mona. Well, Falafel. Yes, I know his name is Lafel, but I refuse to call him that. Fuck this guy, by the way. Have you heard I hate him? Hey, get out of here, dude. Yeah, get the fuck out. Leave. Leave. Yeah, fuck you. Now we get into one of the main problems of the game. Or another main problem. There are several, but this game does not shut the fuck up. Or better yet, this fucking owl does not shut up. He interrupts the gameplay constantly, he sits you down for around 15 minutes and he exposition dumps you a lot. And he does that all the time in the beginning. I mean, I know Persona games are notorious for long openings, but this is ridiculous. It took me like 8 hours to even get to the first palace and another 2 to start exploring it. It's insane, and most of the fault lies with this piece of shit right here. It takes so fucking long to explain things. It feels like a ChatGPT summary, but you ask him to make everything long and wordy. I don't even feel like I'm talking to him, because all my responses, as I mentioned, just repeat what he said. So a bland main character and a bland old character, both with zero personality between them, try to discuss the entire metaverse lore. How the shit and fuck do you think that feels? Boring, that's how. And look at his design. Is it not the shittiest thing you ever saw? Compare him to Mona. Anyway, more on designs later. I get sidetracked a lot. One thing to take away from this rant is that fuck him. And by the way, you're watching the sped up version. I had to sit there like an ass and listen to him dribble about things I already know. Actually, you can skip. Yeah, fuck off. Might as well not play the game then. How about make a better dialogue? How about that? How about we do that first? Anyway, this piece of shit owl takes us through the metaverse and awakens our first persona. And it doesn't happen because of our desire to protect our friends, or some other interesting desire, or maybe even selfish desire or anything like that. He awakens because, well, the monster holds him and he needs to awaken. So the gacha game needs to start, so that's why he awakens. After we go back home, get exposition dumped by Igor this time, then the owl dumps an S-load of exposition again, and it just goes on and on. Like 3 hours later, we finally come to our major conflict and our main antagonist. Who the fuck is it going to be? Teacher abusing power? Well, can be, because we're in a subway. Oh, I know, it's a subway molester. It's a big problem in Japan as far as I know. Bold of them to go this yeah, you know where I'm going with this. Get ready for the silliest and goofiest thing you ever heard. This fucking guy, right? This guy, he likes to slam into women on the subway. He gets fully chubbed, puts on his best JoJo impression, and then he taps women with his shoulder, giving them a bit of a tumble. And the first response of our brave heroes is to raid his fucking palace and teach him a lesson. Are you serious right now? I don't even know where to begin. First of all, is this the best you could come up with for the first palace? The dude who slams into women? Second of all, really? Raid his palace right away? Have you tried doing anything else? Maybe reporting him to the police? And the police don't have them. Hey, fuck off with that shit. There are cameras up the asshole and everybody has a phone. Well, if the police doesn't help and they don't care, how about you take him around back and beat the shit out of him? Have you tried that? Or raiding the palace is the first logical conclusion you guys come up with. Gee whiz, I put some mayonnaise on my carbonara. I hope the legendary phantom thieves don't come fuck my palace up. Also, if you are using a convenient excuse that nobody cares for every single explanation, then why do women who get pushed care? Everybody is apathetic and without will, right? Shouldn't they be like, oh, I get tumbled a little, but I'm fine, let's carry on with my fucking day? And third of all, why him? There's absolutely no worthy criminal activity going on around. We're going after the fucking subway slammer. Nobody's stealing, nobody's killing. It's the subway slammer, gotta go after him. Now this shattered my suspension of disbelief so hard it barely recovered, but after that scene, Igor comes in and gives us the final blow. He says that nothing is important, there are no stakes, and you're just playing the gacha game. Fuck you, give us money. Well, he didn't say it like that. He said Joker and everybody else we summon are basically constructs of our mind, explaining the gacha mechanics in the world. Yes, that's right, the gacha mechanics exist in this world canonically. I wonder if Joker from original Persona had to fucking gacha. and summon shit with his mind. I wonder if he had to do that. None of the gacha games have to do this. You know why? Because we suspend our disbelief. For example, in Zenless Zone Zero, it is assumed that we have all the characters, because these are all the people that we met through the story, and we basically give them a call to help us. In Wuthering Waves, we canonically play through the story as Rover, sometimes having the help of others. No game explains its gacha mechanics in World. Okay, maybe there are some, but I bet they're not as bad as this one. Now the stakes that I've been talking about all this time were pretty low, and they dropped even lower after the Subway Slammer. But after Igor, I might as well swim to the fucking Mariana Trench to find them. I'm not going to bore you with the entire story, because it will take another hour, but basically we find out that he pissed off at this Chia, and he wanted to give her a bit of a tumble, and his whole motivation is because she hurt his ego long time ago as a kid, and he's still pissed off. Dude, what are you, fucking 12? Do you not have enough problems in your life? I don't know about you, but myself, between work, rising prices, no support on my videos, long editing hours, and my worsening alcoholism, the last fucking thing I think about is some embarrassing shit that happened a few years ago. Grow the fuck up, dude! And if you don't have any real life problems, then why the fuck are you bothered by some schoolgirl? Go order some sushi and a cheap vodka and hire a hooker so she can suck you off while you rewatch Naruto or some other stupid shit. One more thing I forgot to mention is the theming. Each Persona game has very strong theme, which story and characters revolve around. Persona 3 deals with death, depression, and the eventual hope that comes. Persona 4 deals with the truth and self-acceptance, and Persona 5 deals with rebellion, freedom, and social conformity. What the fuck does Persona 5X deal with? Slamming into girls is bad? The voice crack. Yo, editing douche, please remove that. No, I'm not removing that. Now you may say I need to play more of the story to find out the theme, but to that I say, make a better fucking game. To summarize, laughable and rushed writing, bloated dialogues that interrupt the gameplay all the time, directionless story, plot holes, comical villain, and no theme whatsoever. Let's carry on, gameplay. Now this game proudly wears its Persona jacket, and from the screenshots looks like an authentic Persona experience, but it's all a fucking lie. It's all surface level, and it won't take you long to realize that it neither feels like Persona nor plays like Persona. To summarize, this is a simplified and watered down version of Persona 5. Now you have your usual calendar. Oh wait, you don't even have that, because it's a fucking gacha game. You have yesterday, today, and tomorrow. How exquisite. That means one of the main Persona elements, your time management, is gone. What happens is, you get like 3 or 5 or whatever the fuck activity points per week. You can use them to level up your stats or increase social links. That's right, this game makes you grind this shit in real life. The time doesn't pass for characters in the game, it passes for you. Week after week, year after year. This is such a greedy and sad concept, but I'll talk about greedy later. So what we basically have is a small overworld to do our weekly tasks in, and metaverse where we grind the palace and other gacha activities. That's pretty much it. I'm sure if I played long enough maybe I'd find more things to do like cooking and gardening, but it didn't look like there is a lot more to it. The palace is a huge downgrade. Instead of having an intricate design with lots of passageways, shortcuts and interesting challenges, here it's mostly corridors, again and again, again and again and again. It's linear, and most of the diversions is get back here later with a keycard or craft this item to get this. This makes exploration non-engaging and boring. The controls feels choppy. Maybe it's due to the port, but it feels like I installed an Android emulator and playing through that, and nobody gave two shits about a PC port. The combat is less interesting and way less stimulating, even with all the golden gacha characters. The baton pass mechanic was reduced to a basic attack, no hold up mechanic, that shit is gone. The personas have like 3 skills and maybe a passive if you're lucky. The entire progression, instead of being an interesting exploration of fusions, boils down to grinding gacha trials and building your base. Yeah, there is a fucking base building mechanic in this game, but it can go sit on a bottle, because it's confusing with too much info and it could be bothered to read all the tutorial for it. There isn't much more to say about this honestly. Animations are choppy as fuck, combat is boring, and the only new thing they added is the favorite of mobile gaming, Ultimates. Yeah, great. Fuck does it matter though, because I'll probably set the game on fucking autoplay and go down another shot of vodka. Now let's talk about designs. They're shit. Okay, some people like fake Chie and Yukiko here, fine, I'll give you that, but compare all the gacha characters and personas to the original. Like, what is all this shit? The personas look more like a JoJo stance, and I don't mean from the manga, I mean from some fan art someone drew of themselves. Why does every persona look like the owner? This doesn't work like that. Personas are representations of our inner selves, not our outer selves. Look at the original. Ryuji persona is not a Japanese hooligan with blonde hair, it's a pirate. The pirate represents his inner rebellious nature and his forwardness. Makoto's persona is even more unique, it's a fucking motorcycle. That's cold as fuck, boy. She's farming that aura points. Now back to the new characters, look at that. Motoha's persona looks exactly like her, Shun's persona looks exactly like him, and you wanna know a juicy bit of info? Every female persona has the same breasts as the owner. What the fuck? It's also boring and uninspired. I can't even summon the strength to be mad again. But don't worry, I'm about to go nuclear on Falafel again. Yeah? Remember him? Falafel has one of the worst designs in the game, and they dropped the ball hard with him. His metaverse look is really, really bad. First of all, his silhouette is not pronounced at all. Mona had a huge head to make him look more like a mascot, while this piece of shit here looks like a kid in a hood. Now, those things on eyes? What are those? I assumed it was goggles at first, but no, I believe that's just his fur or his skin protruding out. It feels like a tumor growing, it looks genuinely awful. He uses tonfa as his weapons. May I ask why? There's not a single reason for him to use tonfas. Especially if they're that small, and he's that small. They're not gonna reach? And let's talk about his persona. More like someone's fursona. What in the unholy name is that? Are you kidding me? A Japanese kawaii robot with anime eyes? This does not feel like a design, this feels like a fan art. Everything about this character sucks. Not only he looks like an anus of overworked harbor hooker who just got 50 sailors up your ass, he also just wastes our valuable time with boring expositions. Fuck Falafel. Yeah, look at his stupid face. Look at it. Look at this piece of shit. Yeah, get out of here. Leave. Get out of here. In the end of this section, why does this game suck as a Persona game, I also want to mention that the UI sucks. It's very cluttered, buttons are thrown around everywhere without any rhyme or reason, and there's a lot of annoying animations in between each button press. This is all just added to my annoyance with this game. Anyway, let's talk about this game as a gacha. Now, the mechanics here are not that different from any other gacha game, just implemented way worse. Ye all farming for upgrade materials, equipment, doing trials, and so on. The main problem comes from the fact that the overworld is fucking boring. So what happens when you meet a level block? Well, in Wuthering Waves, for example, and even in that piece of shit Genshin Impact, you can go explore, find chests, solve puzzles, and just enjoy the open world, and it doesn't feel like a short race level. Not at first, at least. Here, as soon as you hit the level cap, you need to waste a few days grinding the trials, which take your daily energy, and it's all such a big fucking chore, guys. Many people equate gacha games with a job, like MMOs, and it's true, but if it has a fun gameplay and good visuals, it's fine. Here, none of that. You literally do the same tasks over and over until you get a level up, without any exploration or interesting mechanics or good visuals or puzzles or pretty much anything. And that's not even mentioning the absolute avarice and greed of Atlus. Have I ever told you that I fucking hate Atlus and I don't think they get enough shit? Sure, you have your Ubisofts and EA and they get fucked on constantly, but rarely do you see people smacking their greasy cocks down Atlus's throat. That company fucking sucks with its higher than life prices, horrible support, no price cutting for other countries and many more bullshit. Well, this game is no exception. It is plagued with nerf trades for gacha, no dupes for shop rewards, constant and never-ending AD pop-ups for the new shop items. Buy now with that discount. Yeah, fuck off, mate, I'm poor. Support me in links in the description, please. And you may ask, don't all gacha do this? Nope. Only bottom of the barrel mobile trash does this. And if you're planning to go free to play, forget about it. You'll fucking die of old age before you do anything meaningful in here. And that's not even talking about Atlus treating the Korean, Japanese and Chinese version better, with more content, more events and more characters. That's right, the international version got the shaft. What the fuck is that about? Have you ever seen the popular gacha games? They don't do that. Alright, now let's talk about everything I forgot to mention elsewhere. It'll be quick. Graphics sucks my small cock. The textures look awful and animations are stiff. There are no faces on the NPCs and there are like 3 NPC variety throughout the game. The thing fucking hunched over, salary man. The resolution somehow looks wonky, I'm not really adept enough to explain it, but it looks stretched. Music, diarrhea. I mean, it uses original Persona 5 tracks, that's fine, they're cool, but the new tracks, I can't even remember them, mate. Controls? Fucking horrible. I can't control the guy in the metaverse probably. It flops all around like a cock during a C&B torture. The loading times? Awful. I want to enjoy and explore, but every goddamn time I have to fight an enemy, it goes into the loading screen. It's about 4 seconds, which you think is not that long, but you have to do it again and again and again, and fucking starts pissing you off. The map is needlessly huge, and there's way too many spots for interactions and hiding, which makes constant beeping noises when you pass them over with the mouse. Every goddamn corridor looks the same. I didn't even mention that these cheap motherfuckers are using AI! That's right, AI. Look at this shit. You can't make this up. Atlus, the poor fucking company, can't pay Chinese animators to draw something. They had to resort to AI. This game is by far the worst Atlus game I have ever seen. It's a disgrace to a Persona series and gives gacha games even a worse reputation than it already has. I banished this game to the largest septic tank you can find so I can piss on top of it. Okay, now that I've got that out of my system, thanks for watching this video. If you made it this far, I thank you for giving me your time. I hope you play better gacha games and you leave this piece of shit alone. As usual, like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, give me money if you really like me, come join my stream, I stream here on YouTube, so play gacha games, you can come check me out. We're gonna have a great time, say hello, I'm gonna say hi back, suck your cock, you know, all the good stuff, so yeah. See you guys.